Hello, I'm going to be doing another updated tutorial for decal liveries because I left a lot of things out. Okay, step one, you want to open Studio, go to the car that you're going to make a decal livery for. For example, I'm going to use this 2020 Explorer. Then you want to go to the paint, wherever that is, paint or color, whichever it's called. Take everything, or just take the paint, and then you want to export that. First you want to change the origin to 000. Export that as an OBJ file, and then save that. And then if the windows are separate, if some of the paint's separate, for example, the doors are separate here, just drag them into the same model and then export it like that. Um, I'm not going to actually export it because I already have the file and I don't want, sometimes it freezes and that's normal. And yeah. Then after you've exported it, you want to go to Blender, left click in just the open area, press A. These are default keybinds. So press A, right click, delete, file, import, import wavefront, select split by group, go to the file you exported, import. To move around, to look around like this, you have to hold down the scroll wheel and then just drag it around. And then to move around, hold down the scroll wheel and then drag, hold down shift and the scroll wheel and then drag that. Shift, scroll wheel to move around, and then scroll wheel, hold down to look around. And then what you're going to want to do is first you have to, the majority of the time, this mesh is one piece. And then you have to separate it in Blender in order to get the higher quality for the decals. For example, on this, which is what I'm doing, there's a line and words here and here. I have to separate those because if I don't, it's going to end up being way more blurry here and here because it's one big mesh. Basically, for Roblox, it has to be below 10.4, 1, it has to be below 1048, I think. Um, 1024, sorry. 1024, a 1024 resolution in order for it to not get downscaled. Basically, this is the only one you have to do it for. The trunk and the doors and the hood and the roof are already below that, and the bumpers. It's just this piece, right, that you need to separate to make it as small as possible. You only need to do it if you have stuff there. Like, if there's nothing, if it's only on the doors, you don't have to separate it. You can, yeah. Now you want to go back to Blender. You want to turn off everything except that mesh. So that's going to be, just click the little eye just to turn those off for now. Oh. Then you want to if you want to press A and you want to go into edit mode, then you want to go into uh, face select. This is the easiest in my opinion. Use the movement keys, right? Hold down middle, the scroll wheel to look around, and then at the same time, use hold down shift to move around. And then scroll wheel up and down to zoom in. Although there's a limit to how much you can zoom in though. Then I'm gonna separate this piece right here. So I'm gonna go and you want to hold down shift and just drag it. Hold down shift and left click and just drag, right? And then you want to deselect. You just want to do all that and then start deselecting stuff that you don't need to be separated. Like I'm gonna get rid of all this. To get rid of it, you do hold down control and left click. So I'm just gonna get rid of this, like that. And then I'm just gonna get rid of this. It just makes it easier. Okay. And you want to do the whole thing because if you only like cut off a small piece, it'll end up the mesh will end up cutting through the other mesh. No, it'll like not show the whole thing. So that looks good. Just make sure everything in that area that you're separating, there's nothing being left out, the gray spots. Sometimes it'll mess up the car if you leave it out. Another way you can check if there's anything that leaving out is switching to viewport shading. It looks like there's some here. Looks like there's some here actually. And then to unclick one piece, it's just shift and then click it. I think that's it. You want to go separate, right click, separate selection. And if you notice there's anything, oh, like right here, there's something I didn't get, just Control Z, drag over that, and then do it again. It's always good to double check. Just like that. It's good. Now I'm gonna do the other side. Generally, you want to do it just the same exact way. Do all that. Let's do it on this side actually. I'm just gonna control drag over this because I don't want that separated. Shift click that. Drag over these gray areas. And then I want it down to here, so I'm actually gonna go like that. Um, yeah, just like that, I think. And then I'll show you why it's more easier to just do it exactly the same afterwards. It's in paint.net. It's just way easier if you just do each separation exactly identical. Now double check there's nothing missing. Oh, like right here. Oops. And up here. Gonna separate by selection. Double check nothing's missing. Up here. Just gonna drag over that, do it again. That's good. And then we're gonna go to the back. So again, oops, shift drag to all this. I'm just gonna do it up to there. I don't want that in it. Just gonna make sure that's clicked, and then check over here. You do want the inside part as well. Gonna want that. Make sure nothing's missing right here. Right click separates by selection. Double check, nothing's gray. Okay, we're good. And then same thing for the other side. Let me just see where I did on this. Okay. That always make sure that a lot of times you'll miss some parts in the gas cap. So always double check that. Just gonna get this. And then that looks good. Selection. Make sure nothing's missing. That looks good. Okay. Next, you want to go and click. You want to go back into edit, object mode. Click all these. You want to go export FBX. Rename it. Limit to selected objects, and then change scale to 0.01. Export. And you want to go back into Studio. You want to go to View, Asset Manager, Bulk Import. Click the FBX file. Leave these two clicked. Press Apply, and let it import. Oops. Press the X. You want to go click all of them. You can use Control or Shift to click multiple. Right. Once they're all selected, press right click and hit Insert with Location. Then you want to take the mesh you imported, group as model, and then you want to go and into that original mesh, this piece, copy the C frame position, go to the model, paste that into the origin, and then you want to delete the original one, just backspace. Take that model, control left click to select multiple, and then drag them into the paint. And then you want to go change that to smooth plastic. Make sure all the mesh is smooth plastic, and I'm going to switch that actually to white because that's the color I'm doing. Oh yeah, and then always make sure it's anchored. And then it's not part of the door, so I'm actually going to turn off can collide. And then that doesn't matter though. That's like, and then I'm just gonna change the doors. Change the mesh colors to whatever color the car you're doing is. Mine is white, obviously, so I'm just switching that to white. There we go. Oops, bad. Save to Roblox, and then you want to bring so always double check that your new mesh doesn't break the car. Just gonna move that up. Just test it out really quick. Sometimes it'll, if you miss something, it'll like fall apart. Okay, we're good. 'Cause you don't want to do the entire livery, then realize you have to do it again because it's broken or whatever. Take this back here. Okay, we're done with the selection. Now you want to go back into Blender, turn everything back on. You want to take you want to go to you want to go to press Y. Damn it. Press Y. Just gonna put this back where it was. And then zoom in just about that much. Use a screenshot tool. I use the Windows screen snip tool, which the default key is Windows Shift S. Take that, just drag it over, make sure everything's in the picture. Actually, wait, I take that back. You want to press A first and then do that. Press A, make sure everything's outlined. It just makes it easier. Windows Shift S. Do that, make sure everything's in. And then go back, do this side. I'm actually just, I'll show you later after. Just take both in case, but what I do is since I made both sides identical on the separating, I can just take this one and then duplicate it, flip it, and then I can just copy paste everything. Makes it easier. I'll show you later. I'm gonna go to the rear, screenshot that, and then if you have the roof, if there's something on the roof, take a screenshot of that. If there's something on the hood, like I have police on the hood, so I'm actually gonna take a screenshot of the hood of the front, and then also on top for the hood. I'm just gonna screenshot this. Make sure everything's saved before you close it. Just gonna go pictures, screenshots. Make sure everything's there. Okay. Let's delete this one. You can close it. You don't have to save it. I'm gonna save it. And then go into paint.net. All these apps are free, by the way. Oops. File open. Go to those screenshots. Control, click the ones you need. I'm just gonna do these for now. I'm just gonna do these for now. And then I'm gonna you wanna go paint.net, you wanna open those. I'm just gonna do these two for now. Basically, if you make both sides separated completely identical, you can just do a second one of the same screenshot. Oh, that's the wrong one. You can just open the screenshot again, and then basically what you can do is just image flip horizontal, and then say I have a line here. I could just copy paste flip it, and then I wouldn't even have to move it. It would be exactly where it's supposed to be. It just makes life much easier, you know? Okay, you want to go image, resize, 4096, make all your images 4096. Then you want to go add layer. I'm gonna do you never know, dude. And this part I'm just gonna copy paste because I already did it and it's like accurate. But the line I have to do. So I have my color. I'm gonna go to line, curve. You can skip this part if you already know how to make the liveries, you know. Let's see. Where's the side? Okay. So this one goes from right here all the way to the top of the brake light, right about here. And it looks like it doesn't follow any specific line. Okay. Okay, it follows the top of the door handles. So it actually has to be on the, wait, what? Uh, hold up. Oh, it goes, my bad. It goes all the way from here to, oh, what am I doing? All the way to the back. And then I'll put up a timestamp if you want to skip this part. I'm just gonna, okay, I see where it is. I'm just gonna do this real quick. I guess it just follows. That seem right? Let me see if it's for. Okay, yeah, it is. It is. Okay. That looks about right, at least somewhat. I'm gonna duplicate that down key just so I can. Yeah. This goes to the bottom here. I don't have to worry if something overlaps into the other mesh because I'm only gonna put it on one of the meshes, right? We just see where this goes back to. Slightly under, actually. Just like that. Now I'm gonna connect the two lines. And I'm gonna press this, merge layer down, change this to 60%, and just fill it in. Right? And then just make sure this is accurate first. Alright. And let me just check. Okay, we're good. I think that's as good as it's gonna. Actually, I'm gonna redo this one. The curve, it just seems too curved. I'm gonna do this. And then I'm gonna connect them. Just gonna fill that in. Oh, merge layer down, fill that in. And then uh, okay, yeah. And then new layer, I'm gonna take the badge. I'm gonna take the badge and then I'm just gonna copy paste it because I know the size is already correct. And then I'm just gonna line it up right. Oh, I have to, and then I gotta have to outline this in black. This is a plugin, by the way, in case you're curious. It's about at 3. Yeah. And then, all right, I'm gonna take this badge. I'm gonna line it up correctly. That looks good. Then I'm gonna always save your work, by the way. Let's see. This is, I'm just gonna do, okay. Okay, I'm just gonna copy paste this part. Color. Oh wait, oops, wrong one. And then let's see. This goes, L goes halfway through, and okay, it's about here. Seems about right. I'm just gonna save that. I'm gonna take this police one, copy that, paste that. Oops, new layer, paste that. Just gonna resize this a bit. That's better. Goes to about here. Actually, this is a bit wider. That's good. Let me just turn that a bit. There we go. That looks good. Save, and then add the unit number. Just gonna go to my font. What is this? 553. Oops. We'll do 73. Just gonna take this and then line it up. This is the 3 and the 8 are over that looks good. Just gonna put that there. Okay, done with this side. I'm just gonna quickly show you how to put this into the game first. Oh, I actually have to erase part of this though, because of the, it's not supposed to be. Basically, that blue line is gonna show up on the back of that, so I'm just gonna quickly erase that. You don't have to do this. This is just, I want it as accurate, as possible. That should be fine. Do the same for this one. Oops. Just make sure, yeah, that should be good. Just gonna save. Make sure to save before you do this part though. Then you're gonna go into to move selection, click, and then first I'm gonna do this. I like to do the doors first and then the last two. I'm just gonna turn this off so I can see it. You want to go to to where the orange line starts to fade away. So like right about there. And it's gonna be right around here. Then this is all up here. After that's done, you want to go turn that back on. Turn off background, image, crop to selection, file, save as PNG, save, OK, flatten. Go into Roblox Studio, go back to Asset Manager, upload that image. Oh my God. And then drag and drop. Oof, I actually have to erase a lot more. But you can see, right? Yeah. Let's check. As you can see, the quality. Oh, okay, so basically, the reason why you want to do decal liveries is because Basically, this is a finished decal livery. Like the quality is pretty good. This is one of my older UV mapped cars that I did a long time ago, and the difference is like massive, right? Much more pixelated, much more blurry. There's a lot of black spots, and you can't even see the details on the badge, right? And much better quality than if you were to use a UV map. Anyways, I'm actually gonna go back. I'm actually gonna go back and erase that top part. I forgot to erase that. Just gonna quickly erase this really quick. I forgot to erase this top part. Oh, whoops. I think, let me do this one real quick. I think that should be fine. Just gonna save that. Let me crop this again. Right where that starts to blur out is where you want to do it again. Right there. Drag this in. Just gonna turn this back on. Right about there. It's usually about the third, like, visible line-ish. And do the bottom. That's good. Turn off background. Image crop to selection. Save as PNG. I'm replacing it because I already did it right. I want before. And then OK, flatten. Go to Asset Manager. Import the file. Drag it on. There's a bit on the edge there. I'll fix that if I have to later. Right now, I'm just gonna go to the next step. Okay. Next door. Sorry. Just gonna take this over here. Same thing. Right about there. Right about there. Right about there. And then right about there. background off, image crop, save as, PNG, save, place, flatten, same exact steps. Everything from now on is the exact same steps. Just make sure this is lined up correctly. Okay, you can see it actually needs to go just a little bit down. I'm gonna Control Z. Now a little bit down means I have to bring this up a little, so I'm just gonna do it once. Same steps. That looks good. That's basically perfect. All right, you've got the two doors. Ooh, let me get rid of that actually. Let me just erase some of that. Same steps. I was just touching that up. Import there. Man, let me just do this while I'm at it. That's better for now. I'll just go into the next step, right? Yeah. I'll do this one now. You want to go, where is it? I'm gonna save that actually because that's perfect-ish. Now I want to do this part. Right about there. Actually, no, that's right about here. Right about here. Right about there. And right about there. Background, same steps, image, crop selection, save as, PNG, yes, flatten, import, drag and drop onto the mesh. Make sure it's lined up correctly. This needs to go down a little. So I'm just gonna do that. Same steps. That's better. Actually, if it seems bigger, that's gonna be. That means I did the left and right wrong. Sorry. And just make sure this is right. Let's try this. Ah, sit. Save as. Go back. Same exact thing. This is just me making sure it's as close as possible. But I mean, you can turn the video off now. Everything else is the exact same. I'm just finishing up the side. Just gonna do this one last part. That. Got about there. And right about here. Same steps as before. Import. Oh, uh, I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, well, those are the those are it's the same steps. Just follow the steps. I'm gonna fix this on my own later. And then yeah, I'm just gonna do this on my own later. But follow those same steps. If it cuts out like that, wait. If it cuts out like this, then either what I usually do is I just re-separate this one and see how that goes. And then if it doesn't work, I just put that on the UV map if it cuts off like that. Sometimes you can't fix that though. And then follow the same steps for the rear for everything else that you do, and you're done. Yeah, that's basically it. I'm gonna fix that on my own. But for the rest, it's the same exact steps. Once again, this is high quality UV livery, and then these are decals, right? And there's also no floating. If you just put a decal on a part or on the displacement tool, usually it floats at least a little, and yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, that's it.